So I encountered a problem with my Masterbuilt electric smoker that I wanted to share with you guys the way I modified it until I can get it serviced or fixed. My issue here is I've always seen videos on YouTube saying, well, my electric smoker doesn't heat up or doesn't turn on, the heating element is not working. This one's really strange because my heating element is working, it's just not turning off. What does that mean? Well, I have it preset at 220. So right now the temperature is going to hit 220. You're going to notice once it hits 220 that according to the board, it's going to send a signal to your heating element down there to stop heating up. Problem is with mine is that it doesn't stop heating up. I put on a brisket that I was making. I came out about an hour later to check on the chips, and I always like to put an additional temperature probe on the inside, or here the meat probe that I don't use. I use my actual this probe to use on my meat to verify the internal temp. What I noticed was when I came out here, the temperature said that it was off at 220, but the temperature kept rising. It wouldn't stop. It just kept on going. The internal temp kept going up. And this is not good if you're going to leave it overnight, because that means that my Masterbuilt electric smoker here got up to about 275, and that's not what I wanted. I wanted to hit it at about 220. So one of the slight modifications that I did, I opened up this thing right here. It still wasn't enough to allow enough air to go in so it can cool off. Then what I did is I actually opened this latch here, and I left it open just a little bit, so you can have a little opening on the right here so that the heat can come out. Problem was that it wasn't wide enough, so I kept having to adjust it here like this, trying to get the right, I guess you would say, the right distance so that it could maintain the temperature that I wanted. So in the end, what I noticed is that on this little latch here, it has this little groove that's going to actually pull the door in. And on this little latch, it has a nut, and it has this little lever that's adjustable. So what I actually did is I adjusted this. You can turn it, either tighten it or loosen it, and that gives you more room or less room. So what I did is I ended up adjusting it. It took a little bit of fine tuning, but I was able to adjust it to the point where it had enough of a gap to where this was still open like this, letting some of the heat out. And as you can tell right here, a lot of the heat was coming out during the cook. That just happened right now. But it also allowed my my smoker to self-regulate itself and not go over too much on the temperature. It wasn't a perfect science, but for now I just didn't want my my brisket to cook too fast. I'm assuming it's something having to do with the board. I'm assuming it has something to do with the information going from the board to the heating element that is not sending that signal. You can hear it click. If you give it a couple more seconds, you'll hear it click, and you'll say, okay, it's working. But no, not really. It's not really working. It's actually continuing to rise on the inside, and you could tell right away, because if you come outside to check on the brisket with to put in some more chips, you start hearing too much. You want to hear a little bit of sizzle every once in a while. Every 5 to 10 seconds you want to hear a sizzle. But if you're hearing a lot of sizzling, that means that the temperature is too high. It's cooking too fast. The fat is being cooked too fast. Listen. You heard that? It clicks off. It tells me that the signal is being sent at 220. It should already be sent. But notice how it continues to rise. It continues to go up because the actual heating element on the bottom is not really turning off. So when you open this, that heating element down there is still red hot. So I mean, again, it got up to about 275. Luckily, I was able to catch it on time. And by making the slight modifications, adjusting this to give it enough of a gap to stay open or closed, it actually helped with the cook. So I could be able to go to sleep at night and let this brisket cook overnight without worrying about it going too high on the temp. All right. So I'll put another video or update a video to see what they tell me when I call Masterbuilt. But for now, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. Maybe that's a quick fix in case it happens to you the way it happened to me, where you found this out after you had put in the brisket and after about an hour and a half of it being in there. All right, thanks for watching.